Are you as confused as I am about how to rotate your tires? Maybe you're not sure how often to rotate them? Don't worry, it's not rocket science. Time to stop and clear it up at the workshop. I think I have someone who can help. Hey Sarah!
Hey Thomas!
So I've heard about tire rotation, but I must admit, I'm not sure which pattern to follow.
That is completely understandable. It can seem like there are as many different rotation options as there are types of vehicles out there. We're going to break that down today and talk about all the different rotation patterns for those vehicles. Because when you rotate your tires, you're going to help to maximize tread life and therefore improve the longevity of your tires. So whether you've got a two-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive, this is a really good habit to learn or to keep.
So let's test my mechanics knowledge. Tire rotation is the process of moving the tires and wheels to a different position.
Bullseye. This is a process that's going to help ensure that they all wear evenly.
Now the question on everybody's mind is, how often should I be doing this?
So you should rotate your tires every 6,000 to 8,000 miles, which equates to about 10,000 to 12,000 kilometers, or every 6 months. Whatever your car maker specifies, that's really key. All right, Thomas, recognizing your tread pattern is the very first step in learning how to rotate your tires. And now, challenge time! Can you guess what type of tire it is based solely on the tread while blindfolded?
Okay, let's give it a try.
So, come towards me a couple of steps and a little bit to your left. There you go, you found it.
There it is.
Now, these tires are often fitted on passenger cars, but less so on high-performance cars.
The tread pattern feels the same across the whole tire. Is it a symmetrical tire?
Correct. All right, now time for the next one. Back up a little bit, reach out, you found it. Now, your clue. These tires are ideal for optimizing safety in difficult conditions such as rain or snow.
It definitely feels special.
It is. It's a directional tire.
Oh yes, I remember. These ones have an arrow on the sidewall of the tire, right?
Exactly. These tires are designed to work in only one direction. That's what the arrow is there to tell you, meaning that you have to take extra care when you rotate them.
All right. Okay, so what are the pattern options for passenger cars and light trucks?
Okay, so first up, the recommended pattern if you have a rear-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive vehicle is what's known as a rearward cross. This is where the front two tires are crossed over to the back, and then the rear two tires move straight to the front without crossing. Alternatively, you can crisscross these on this type of vehicle.
Sounds pretty straightforward so far. What about our viewers with passenger cars and light trucks that are front-wheel drive?
Okay, so that's a little different. And the recommended rotation is what we call the frontward cross. So that's when the rear two tires are crossed over to the front, and then the front two tires move straight to the back.
Great! What's the tire rotation pattern when the front and rear tire sizes are different?
It's like on a Porsche 911 or a Corvette, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, so there you have to rotate the tires on the same axle, meaning you swap your front tires with each other, and then you're going to do the same with the rear tires.
Okay, so far so good. What are we missing? Yes, directional tires. I smell something fishy with those ones.
You and those directional tires. Once you know what a directional tread pattern is, then the rotation pattern is pretty intuitive. So we know from earlier that the directional tires, we must follow the direction that the arrow is pointing on the sidewall. It's always telling us what direction that the tires need to rotate on the car. So that means naturally there's only one option, and that we can only move the tires on the same side of the vehicle, front to rear.
Now, time to look at vehicles fitted with a full-sized spare tire. First up, rear-wheel and four-wheel drive vehicles.
Okay, we just added one tire, but it gets a little bit more complicated. The front left tire moves to the spare tire position, the spare tire to the rear right position. Then the rear right tire moves to the front right, and the front right moves to the rear left. And then finally, the rear left tire moves to the front left position. You got all that?
I gotta admit this one's a bit more complicated.
Okay, it is complicated, but it's really important, so I need everybody to focus. Let's take a quick commercial break.
Do you need help rotating your tires? No job is too big. No pattern is too complicated. Call the workshop hotline now.
Alright, back to business. What about front-wheel drive vehicles?
Okay, so everybody's refreshed and ready to go. The front left tire moves to the rear left position. The rear left will move to the front right. The front right will move to the spare tire position. The spare tire to the rear right. And then finally, the rear right to the front left.
Now, calling all the pickup truck owners. If you have dual tires at the back, you have 2 tire rotation patterns to choose from.
Okay, so the first option is a circular pattern applied to both sides of the vehicle individually. So starting counterclockwise on the left side, the front left tire will move to the rear left, which will move to the inside right. Then the inside tire on the left-hand side of the vehicle will move up to the front left. Then on the right-hand side of the vehicle, you're essentially going to apply the same pattern, but in a clockwise direction. So your second option, and this depends on what kind of wheels you have on the inner and outer tires of the rear, that's where the front right tire is going to move to the front left, and then you just switch both rear pairs with one another, not individually like in that first circular pattern.
Well, that's a wrap, Sarah. Thank you so much for this detailed explanation. And would you have any final advice for our viewers?
Well, it's been my pleasure, Thomas. So I think I'd also like to add that when you rotate your tires, you should also check your tire pressures. It's even more important because many vehicles have different recommended pressures on the front and the rear axles. So it's also the best way to make sure that we're improving the longevity of the tires. And then don't forget, you can always refer to the Michelin Tire Rotation Guide, which we've linked in the description. So until next time, Thomas, see you.
Bye, Sarah. Okay, I'll admit that one was a bit tricky, but I hope we cleared up some of your questions about tire rotation. Now, don't forget to hit that like button and see you next time at the workshop.